What's going on, people? Episode 14, I think it is, of the MMA Lawcast Live. My little guy here, Alfred. Hey, Alfred, say hi. Say hi. He was giving me a little bit of issues in terms of getting this stream started. The wife is out going for a hike or something like that. So I got the little guy with me right now to ensure that, he's all good to go. Got a new cam, as you guys can see earlier this week. It finally came in the mail. Still trying to figure out a couple things out with it. And again, these goddamn wires are pissing me the hell off. But I'm gonna have to make a trip out to Home Depot to get something that hides it a little bit better. But yeah, UFC 240 or 258, I should say, big event this weekend or tonight, I should say. Big event in the sense of we got a big welterweight title fight, in my opinion. The second guy that is closest to possibly dethroning Kamaru Usman, though I don't think he'll end up doing that. Very much still looking forward to this fight and how Kamaru Usman deals with this new threat that he has across the cage from him tonight. I will just quickly go through my bets for tonight, and then we'll hop into the chat as always. Just give me 1 sec to bring it up for you guys. I did add a last minute bet just now as well too, so that's nothing. All right, so I got lock of the night play. It's actually centered around Kamaru Usman. I could have played. So last week I made a parlay of Timur Valiev, or Valiev, and Cody Stamann and Kamaru Usman. Obviously, Cody Stamann's leg falls off, and now we're stuck with just Timur Valiev, who's already cashed, and then Kamaru Usman. We got 3 units at minus 130. Then also, I wanted to complete the full 5 units on Kamaru Usman, so I decided to parlay him with the Rodolfo Vieira and Anthony Hernandez fight does not go to decision. I put Usman and that together, 2 units at minus 139. So I'm really hoping that one comes through for us. And hopefully it shakes this lock of the night curse that I'm currently on. 0-4 in the last 4 lock of the night plays. Absolutely atrocious. I am taking full responsibility for the last one in Mike Rodriguez. That one was bad. That one was a bad one. And I will never, ever make a lock of the night play on a bum fight again. Just saying that. I'll bet on bum fights though. Hey, shush your face. Hey, quiet. Hey, shh. Hey, mouth closed. All right. Quiet. The viewers ain't going to like that, Alfred. Hey, shh. There you go. There you go. Good boy. Good boy. Calm down. Calm down. It's just the door. There you go. All right. Yeah. 0-4. And again, that Mike Rodriguez one was an absolute bum ass play. I'm hoping that, to distance myself further from that now. Dogland Night plays. I got the under 2.5s on 2 women's MMA fights, 1 unit on the Maverick under 2.5 at plus 151, and then under 2.5 on the Vienna under 2.5, 1 unit at plus 180. I think those have solid value on both of them. Both matchups have girls that love to scrap, that seek the finishes pretty much at all times, and have been finished in the past as well too. So I'm very much looking forward to that one. I also got 1.5 units on Alexa Grasso at minus 120. Earlier in the week, it seemed like almost everybody was on Alexa Grasso. As the week has started to progress, people seem to be on Macy Barber now. The line is starting to shift, so I'm a little bit bummed out that I got minus 120 when we could possibly be getting Alexa Grasso at plus money come fight time. So that's a big bummer for sure. But I'm still confident in that play. Again, I think she wins at least, given the current circumstances, I think she wins at least 55 to 60% of the time. So either way, I got some good odds in that case. And then lastly, I had a last minute play here, 0.2 units on Diego Lima to win his fight via decision at plus 1150. There's way too much value on that fight for me to go out there and to pass on that, man. I think that's some solid value. I think the fight's going to play out a lot closer than most people are thinking it's going to, and that's why I believe I'm getting some solid value at plus 1150. That's an insane line. Shout out to Pinnacle for dropping the ball on that one, in my opinion. But hopefully it comes out, and I look like the genius today that's playing the 1150 on Diego Lima by decision. Again, I don't think Bilal Muhammad should be, minus 500 here. Great fighter, good fighter, but I think people are just overlooking Diego Lima a little bit too much tonight. So if you're the one parlaying Bilal Muhammad at minus 500, I think you're making a mistake. I think the safer spot would be the over 2.5. Much better line, I think, is like minus 215 or something like that. I see this fight going to a decision. Both guys are hella durable, and I'm expecting this to go to the judges' scorecard. So parlay the over 2.5 rather than below. It's just too chalky to take that below side. All right. Let's get into the chat now. Shout out to the 50 people that we already got in here. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe below. Gives your boy a lot of help for sure. Let me get a swig of water before we get into this episode. For the new viewers, so about maybe 2 years ago or so, I started working in an office, and my wife's, my mother-in-law, I should say, huge fan of The Office. I'm a huge fan of The Office as well, the TV show. So this is for my Office fans. She went out there and made one of the Office mugs for me with my face on it. Fucking amazing gift. She's awesome. All right, let's get into the comments here. Again, considering how much traffic I'm starting to get through the chat now, I won't be able to go through every single question like I used to in the past. I'm just going to sift through the comment section and just try to address what I feel like needs to be addressed. Again, anybody that's saying what's up to your boy, shout out to you guys. I really appreciate it. Trust me, I see the comments. I just want to get through this stream and stay as live as possible with the chat as well too. All right. Let's see. SKD is going, knew I'd be busy last Saturday, so I took the week off from research betting in general. And of course, everybody hit. Let's get it tonight, of course. Shout out to Justin Jr. hopping in the stream as always. Really appreciate it. John Ratchmel is correct. Money don't sleep. Hence why I was up to like 5 o'clock last night trying to tape study on the next event. Yes, Hunter Silvers is absolutely right. Talk amongst yourself as well in the chat. If you guys have a favorite play tonight, make sure to drop that. I'd be happy to give you guys my thoughts on that as well too. Dimitri, I got a couple spots I like a lot today. Usman via decision. I'm right there with you, buddy. Fight goes to decision for Barber. I agree with that one as well too. Fight goes to decision for Ewell. Yep, I agree with that. Small money line plus Bilal money line. I told you I'm not really a big fan of that Bilal minus 500-ish range, but again, he does have a very good shot of winning this fight. And then Maverick, Gaslam, and Vieira for plus 190. The Vieira one's going to be a little bit iffy too. I took the fight doesn't go to decision. That one I know that's chalky as hell, but I would rather play that than Vieira in that minus 400 range. But I don't mind those spots, buddy. I hope you cash tonight. Justin has a question. Is it just me that thought Kelvin looked a little flabby at the weigh-ins? I know he doesn't have Costa Romero-like body type, but it makes me worried taking Kelvin nonetheless. Yeah, as soon as I saw him on the scales, I had to go back and look at his last weigh-in, and he looked the exact same when he came in against Jack Hermanson, right? At 185, he's not making this whole complete change in terms of like really filling out at 185 pounds. He's just weighing in at 185 pounds now, right? Like there's guys like Adesanya who are trying to fill in at a 205 now. There's guys like Jones that are trying to fill in at heavyweight. Gaslam's just like, fuck it. I get to eat a little bit more. Finesse God is saying Maverick or Gutierrez DFS lineup. I think Maverick. I think she has the higher upside of scoring more points. She is a little bit susceptible to getting subs, which is my concern here. But I think even if Gutierrez wins, that fight's going to go to a decision. So the upside, I believe, in points is going to be on the Maverick side. And Gutierrez is usually a little bit more low volume. So that's my issue with him there. I think he wins. But I think in terms, if you're seeking who's going to be the higher point getter, I think it's going to be Maverick, especially if both of them end up winning here. Shout out to everybody that's giving your boy some love right now. Let's catch up. Yes, George is saying Alfred is the real dog of the night. You know. Matt Hudson is saying that Alfred loves them bum bets. He's absolutely saying dogs are barking, as everybody's saying. I'm telling you, Diego Lima via decision plus 1150 is the steal of the century. I'm hoping that it comes to it and your boy looks like a genius, but we'll see. Young Bulla is saying Kelleher and Gutierrez parlay. I'm on the Simone train. I think if you want to play Kelleher, the spot to go would maybe just take him inside the distance. I think he's live for a KO. I think he's live for a sub as well. But yeah, just playing him straight, I think you're leaving a little bit of money on the table, as I don't believe that he's going to be actually winning this fight via decision. I'm taking Simone. I think he's just going to have a little bit too much for him to handle. But yeah, I think Gutierrez wins as well too. But I think that fight's very similar to, very close as well too. George is asking, what's Lima's path to victory? Haven't watched him a lot yet. He's been off for a little bit too, but very clean, crisp striker. I think he's the more technical striker here than Bilal. He has a black belt in jiu-jitsu as well too, but I still think that if Bilal does complete takedowns, he will have success on the ground and kind of controlling Lima there. But I think Lima's success will be maybe going for takedowns of his own. I think outstriking Bilal if he's able to maintain his distance, get his calf kicking game going. That's something that he's been doing a lot more in his last couple fights. If he's able to do that, he should be able to keep Bilal at bay and just pretty much pick him apart from distance. So I like Lima, and I think he could win this fight via decision, hence why I took that plus 1150. Brian Anthony got Bilal at minus 290. That's a line that I can agree with a little more than currently what he's at, so I don't mind that. Yeah, good luck, Brian. That again, it's a very solid line. Justin is saying, Maki Patola, come on. I can see him using his speed and running circles around Marquez, but mostly I just see Marquez being the bigger man and clipping him. I'm not sure if Marquez will clip him, but I've been seeing a lot of people saying that he's going to go out there and grapple fuck Patola. If he comes in with that game plan and is successful with it, yeah, I see him winning. But that 3-year layoff is a huge bummer. In terms of betting wise, I'm not taking this fight at all. I think the spot that I'd look at most would be the over 1.5. I know it's a little bit chalky at minus 160, but that's the spot that I'm looking at. John Rachma was asking, are the bookies sleeping on Olenek? I don't think so, man. I just dropped my breakdown for this fight on the Patreon the other day, and I like Daukaus in that fight, man. Maybe not at minus 170. I'm hoping that we'll see some Olenek money come in. I'm not being too optimistic about that, but man, Daukaus has been looking great. His hands look amazing, and I think his hand speed and his boxing is going to be a little bit too much for Olenek, and I think he's going to catch, or he's going to get Olenek sleeping in the first round here. Maybe the under 1.5 is the spot. Big Joe Gazos is saying Macy and Usman are his locks. I'm on the Grasso side, but yes, I do agree with Usman for sure. P Money 0007, not 007, 0007 is saying, what's the biggest reason you're on Grasso? Superior striker. You know, I mean, I think she's a much better boxer. I think she's going to be able to go out there and absolutely torch Grasso or Barber on the feet for as long as this fight stays on the feet. If Barber is successful in bullying her, taking her down, and roughing her up in the clinch, then yeah, I see Barber winning this fight. But I think that Grasso could be strong herself too, right? She struggled to make 115 pounds, which is why she's at 125. And she looked pretty damn good on the scales as well too. If anything, she looked stronger than Barber, but then obviously it comes down to what actually happens when they meet in the cage. But I think that Grasso, we've seen some good improvements from her. Losses to Carla Esparza and Tatiana Suarez are not the worst things in the world. Like that, you're talking about number 1 and 2 best grapplers in that division, and she still gave Carla Esparza all she could handle. There's a good chance that you could even score that fight for Grasso as well too. So, yeah, again, the boxing I think is going to be a little bit too much for Barber, and I think that Grasso wins this fight via decision. Let's see. Shawnee Mac coming through with the comment as always. Rel is asking who's on Gutierrez. I think he wins, but I'm not taking him I'm not betting that, to be honest. John Ratchmel, I'm sorry to tell you, but Pedro Munoz is off this card. My lock of the night play initially actually was Jimmy Rivera at that minus 137 range. I think they're rescheduled to fight for February 27th. If that's correct, I'm going to be taking the same shot. So there's a nice little sneak peek for you guys. Rail is saying Bilal and Rodolfo parlay. You're asking for trouble parlaying them at that minus 400, minus 500 range. I think in the Vieira fight, you're better off parlaying the fight doesn't go to decision if your bookie allows that. And then Bilal, again, I think he wins. But personally, I took a small shot on Lima via decision at plus 1150. Thought there's a ton of value on that spot there, but Bilal has all the chops to make this a dirty fight. If you can, I think the over 2.5 in the Bilal fight is the way to go. Finesse God, Lima or Patolo for a cheap option. I'd have to go. Fuck. I think even like in my DFS video, I said my sleeper of the night is going to be Diego Lima, and that my favorite option in the 7,000 spot is Patolo. So fuck, tough one. You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'll go with Lima, but man, it's a tough one for sure. Tio took it, is asking what's my most confident pick on the whole card. It's Kamaru Usman, even Kamaru Usman via decision. I did sprinkle a little bit of his round 4 and round 5 props as well, as I think those lines are absolutely wide, and I think it's live for Usman to get a finish there. But him via decision is probably my most confident spot. Walid is saying, do you have any concerns for Usman initially missing weight? He did look in very good shape. Don't read too much into him missing weight there. It was his mask, right? Like those masks just like they weigh so much compared to those regular cloth masks that he has, right? So yeah, that was going to make the difference between him making weight and him not making weight. Don't read too much into that. He looked amazing. John Ratchma is saying best live plays and strategies for tonight. The spots that I would look at in terms of a live betting perspective would be see how that first round goes between Alexa Grasso and Macy Barber. If Barber gets Grasso down with relative ease and is able to hold her down, then I think Barber would be a good spot. Obviously, her odds would probably be a lot better at that point. Maybe Ricky Simone after round 1, especially if Kelleher is able to keep it on the feet. I think that's where Kelleher would be livest, would be round 1. Obviously, the Rodolfo Vieira fight. If that fight does not finish in the first round, I would highly suggest making a little bit of a wager on Anthony Hernandez, as I believe he's going to be more live to get the victory in rounds 2 and rounds 3. And no other spots that really jump out to me in terms of possible live betting opportunities. But solid question there, John. I appreciate it. Nick West is asking Kelleher round 1 sub as a sprinkle. I like that. It only happens, though, if he catches Simone with the boom, forcing a sloppy, desperate shot into the gilly. Too narrow of a path for anything other than a sprinkle. Yeah, Nick is absolutely on the spot there for sure. Let's see. Young Bull is asking, what do you think about Kelleher Simone under 2.5 at plus 210? I think this goes to a decision. Like, I think if the only person getting a finish here probably is Kelleher. So if you want to get even better bang for your buck, I think taking Kelleher inside the distance would be the spot. And then Simone decision is the spot as well, too, in terms of, specific props here and method of victory props. But under 2.5, I think that only really favors Kelleher. The guy's very durable as well, too. So I'd be surprised if Simone finishes Kelleher. But yeah, I think Kelleher is the only one kind of live for a finish here. JR MMA is saying that he locked in Usman via decision plus 175. Ooh, that is a beautiful line, dude. Good luck. Good luck with that one. I think it hits, but good luck for sure. George is saying, what's your opinion on Vieira Hernandez over 1.5 at plus 125? Can Hernandez survive the first if it goes to the ground early? I have question marks whether he can survive on the ground, man. Like I truly think that Vieira, if he gets in there successfully, nice and early in that first round, it's going to be hard for Hernandez to survive that crushing top pressure of Vieira. So I want to fuck with over 1.5. Personally, it'd take some balls. I'd stay away from that personally, but I can see you chasing the plus money there. I think Vieira gets that first round sub though. CD816 is saying the Bilal over 2.5. Yes, I do agree. Thank you for clarifying that for me, buddy. John Ratchman is saying, how many pay-per-view buys does 258 do? You think Dana gave him no support on the card on purpose? I don't think he did it on purpose. Like, they had Jimmy Rivera lined up for this card as well, too. That was a great fucking fight. But again, even that's probably not going to take you into another stratosphere in terms of pay-per-view buys. But yeah, personally, I'd be surprised if this does over 150 pay-per-view buys. It's a very, very tough card to sell. And I feel bad for Usman for having to sell this one. City816 is saying he likes the Lima decision plus 1100 play. Yes, if you have access to Lima via decision, anything better than plus 800, I'd say take a little bit of a sprinkle. I think it's worth a shot. Hunter is saying, why is everybody counting out Burns? Usman's resume isn't that much better other than Colby. Usman is just another level, man. I'm I'm not entirely counting out Burns, but man, it's going to be very tough to put together a game plan to beat a guy like Usman. I think his only real shot is winning this fight early. That's really about it. Dimitri is saying Lima at is at plus 600. Yeah, I'm surprised that Pinnacle dropped it at plus 1150. I had to take my shot there for sure. Dana shit and Marty's apple pie. Yes, for sure. Nick West is saying Bilal goes to decision plus Usman to win plus 104. I think that's a solid spot. I like it. Hunter Silver is saying, what did we learn from Mike Rodriguez? If it looks too good, a lot of crazy stuff may happen tonight. What I learned from Mike Rodriguez is don't invest so heavily on fucking bum fights. Like I'm trying to distance myself so much from that fucking play. I'm so embarrassed about that play. Like I read way too much into the narrative of Danilo Marquez being a bad fighter, and I still truly believe he's a bad fighter. But I made the mistake of, trying to fade a bad fighter with another bad fighter. So yeah, I'll eat my words. I look like absolute garbage after betting that. So I'm hoping to distance myself by hitting some plays over the next couple weeks. But yeah, probably my worst bet of all time, and I'm not afraid to admit it. Unlike some other people that are just trying to sweep it under the rug. Your boy faces the heat, as always. Martial arts fan took a shot on Jillian. I think that's a solid spot. As long as somebody gets a finish there, I'm happy. You know what I mean? I'm on the Maverick side. No bet there on my side, but it's just the under 2.5 that I have a play on. Hunter Silva is thinking that we could possibly see an Usman sub. Dude, yes, Big Joe, I'm glad that you said this, man. Usman round 5 plus 2150. I think there's some solid value there, man. I have question marks about Gilbert Burns' cardio. He's only gone 5 rounds one time against Tyron Woodley in the UFC, and Woodley just puts up zero resistance. So, okay, yeah, he's going to look decent in rounds 3, 4, and 5 when he's not dealing with much in return. Now you're talking about dealing with the heaviest pressure guy in the UFC in Kamaru Usman. I'm very much intrigued about that. Ryan Clune is saying Jillian and the under 2.5, the recipe for success. I hope so. It's worked out for me in the past, maybe not in the last 2 or 3 fights, but I'm hoping that it comes back for sure. Tanner Bledsoe is saying Robertson KO is plus 1,500. You see much of a chance she finishes with ground and pound? Ooh, that's not a bad spot. Like I've done that in the past before. Like OSP versus who is it? Alonzo Menafield. A lot of people were just banging on the sub prop, but I'm like, think about the KO prop. And even though it wasn't a ground and pound finish, he finished him on the feet. I still thought that the KO was live in case he got his back. Maybe didn't get a submission, but got some ground and pound off. And yeah, I agree with Tanner. That's absolutely a possibility here. So plus 1,500 is not too bad. T-Rex, do you think Heinisch KOs Gastelum? I'd be surprised. Gastelum has shown an amazing chin. If Heinisch KOs Gastelum, I'd be very, very surprised. I think that fight goes over. If anybody gets a finish, I think it will be on the Gastelum side. And I think a Gastelum round 3 prop is very live in this spot as well, too. But I'll ultimately take Gastelum via decision. Man, I'm doing a damn good job of staying up with the live chat here. Hope to keep it up. John Ratchwell, for the big fight coming up, we got Stipe, Francis, Ortega, Alex, Brunson, Holland, any others that come to your mind. If you want to just drop some matchups in the chat, I'll do my best to give you guys my pre-tape thoughts. I want to keep up with the chat as much as possible, so I don't want to get too far off this StreamYard page. So Stipe, Francis, I lean Stipe, but it's so hard to bet against Francis. The guy can just put you out. Doesn't give a fuck about technical advantages or anything like that. But we saw Stipe eat his shots in the past. Maybe he can do it again still. So I'll side with Stipe, especially at plus money. Ortega versus Volkanovski. I like Volkanovski. I think he'll be able to come up with a game plan that should stifle this newfound love that Ortega has for striking. And as long as he's able to stay away from the jiu-jitsu, I think he has a solid shot of winning that fight. Brunson versus Holland. I'm still on the bit of a fade Holland train. I think Brunson is a good spot there to spring the upset. It worked out for me against Admin Shabazian last time around. I got to tape that fight a little bit more thoroughly before I can make a final claim. But I do like the plus money that we're getting early on Derek Brunson here. Nick West, don't forget to give your boy Locke some likes here. I agree. If you guys are in the chat, we got 80 people in here. Make sure you guys hit that. Make sure you guys hit that like. That would really, really help your boy. We're at 22 right now, so only a quarter of y'all have hit that like. Come on, guys, show your boy some love. George is saying he's got Francis, Alex, and Holland. Almost on the same page as me. CD816 said, like Lachlan Nightside, folks tried to fade GSP every fight too and hype the opponent. Alvarez was going to kill him. Cost was going to out wrestle him. Usman owns 170 for as long as he wants. I'm right there with you, CD816. The closest I see coming is Mr. Colby Covington, and I'd be a little bit more skeptical about betting that fight as confidently as I'm betting this one against Usman. Appreciate you showing love to us last night on the stream. Justin, saw you in there. Very, very much loved it. Standard Bloke is saying, looking angelic today, Manny. Top 3 fights to end in KO. Ooh. Let's see. Top 3 fights to end via KO. I think this is a decision-heavy card, to be honest. Fuck. This is a slim pickings for KO. So I think Maverick possibly gets a ground and pound finish. So I'll say that's one KO. Maybe Anthony Hernandez, if he's able to survive that first round, maybe he finishes via KO later in the fight or TKO. Maybe Gastelum late in that fight. Yeah, or even Kamaru late in his fight as well too. Very, very tough fight. I think you guys should strap yourselves in for a long night tonight. We got a lot of decisions that are coming up. Brian Murphy is saying Lauren Murphy got a sub. Anything can happen. I played Robertson inside the distance at plus 375. That's not a bad spot. SD Crusader is asking, am I putting anything on Askren and Paul? Absolutely not. Mitch Fearing is saying I'm on Maverick, but if Chilean is plus 1500 TKO, then that's definitely worth a shot. Yeah, the angle that I took is the under 2.5 at plus 150. I'm hoping that one of these chicks ends up getting a finish. JR MMA, any thoughts on Nemkov at minus 135 against the guy he's already beat in Davis? I think that's a solid line. I'm going to have to do a little bit of tape on that fight, as I think that, again, that's a very solid line. Not sure why the line is as close as it is, considering he beat him last time, but I do have to dust up in terms of how he beat him last time and whether it was close or not. But yeah, I think that's a very solid line for sure. Matt Hudson, if it doesn't end up being Jorge and Colby, who's your favorite tough coaches? Ooh, I would love to see, I doubt TJ would do it, but I would love to see TJ and Faber because there's already bad blood there. The Faber fight would be a good one for TJ to come back to, especially after such a long hiatus. But again, on the flip side, maybe this hiatus doesn't make him want to sit back and wait longer for a fight. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Hunter Silvers, got to fade the bell of the ball every time. He's right. We got the bell of the ball tonight with Macy Barber. They're 0-3 this year already with Munir Lazez, Joaquin Buckley, and Amanda Hebas. And even though you guys are getting a much better price on Macy Barber here, they're still propping her up in that co-main event slot. It hasn't boded too well for the guys that the UFC are trying to push here. It's definitely not Alexa Grasso as to why this fight's a co-main event. So that should tell you guys all you need to know. Young Bula, anybody know what the best book in Las Vegas is? I hate William Hill and Bet MGM turned off betting during the damn Super Bowl, so I'm staying away from them. Anybody in Vegas that can help my boy out? Again, I'm up in Canada, so we know we have different bookies up here. John is asking, does Cody have Instagram? I don't think that he does. Martin, I appreciate your support, buddy. He's got Calendar tonight. I think it's a solid dog spot, but I think that Simone is going to be a little bit too much. Tanner is asking if you talked about this already. What's your second best option? Be if you're locked in the night, if your website doesn't allow the parlay. If you don't mind your money tied up, I would parlay Usman and Blades next week. In terms of if you want another one for tonight, like, I think Simone is probably, wow, his line is coming down to minus 230-ish. Interesting. I'd say Simone is my next safest spot, considering the odds. But yeah. Again, if you don't mind your money tied up for another week, I think Blades and Usman is a solid parlay. John Ratchmell, safe parlay and a wild parlay for tonight. I'll give you guys this. I made a crazy totals parlay. It was like 25 or $50 to cash 6K. I think it has a solid shot of hitting here too. So I'll give you guys that one in terms of wild parlay. It's a 9-fight parlay, all totals. So I got the under 2.5 in the Maverick fight, the under 2.5 in the Gabe Green fight, the over 2.5 in the Simone fight, under 2.5 in the Martin fight, over 2.5 in the Gutierrez fight, under 1.5 in the Vieira fight, over 2.5 in the Bilal Muhammad fight, over 1.5 in the Patolo fight, and then lastly, the ninth leg, over 2.5 in the Gastelum and Heinisch fight. That is $50 to return 6.3K. So there's your wild parlay. Safe parlay, I'd go I'd go Usman, I'd go Simone, I'd also go the over 2.5 in the Ewell fight, if you can parlay overs, and the over in the Lima fight, and the over in the Gastelum fight. I think that's a safer parlay. SKD asked me about the Gina Carano firing. I'm not with the whole cancel culture thing. I get what she said is very insensitive, but I don't think she should have lost her job. That's my main qualm. Like, everybody should be allowed to have their own opinion, but you shouldn't lose your job for saying something dumb. Again, it was a very stupid thing, and obviously coming from somebody who's a visible minority himself, I understand like the harshness behind some of those comments, but I'd give her at least an opportunity to say, okay, maybe I took it a little bit too far with that comparison. But I think the way that she's reacting now, which is getting that new movie deal that she got, talking about like uncancel culture or something like that, I think she's only doing that to like kind of double down on her getting fired from Disney. I think if Disney didn't fire her right off the bat as like a knee-jerk reaction to all the social justice warriors out there, I think she probably would have issued an apology and probably stepped back a little bit from that comparison. But I don't think people should be losing their job over this shit. All right. Radical Rosh is saying, are you worried about the ref being impatient and separating after the clinch? Gebra couldn't get his back off the cage in the Tyron Woodley fight, but the ref separated the action. I think we'll see Usman a little bit more active in those situations. It depends on who the referee is. I'm not 100% sure who that is yet. If somebody could actually find that out for me, that would be great. But Usman does a good job of maintaining control. Like against Woodley, he got like 18 minutes of control. Against Usman or Jorge, he got a bunch of control as well too. I don't want to say a bunch. I want to get the actual number here. So let me just pull off the UFC stats page. Kamaru got almost 17 minutes of control. The guy is a control master. Prab Jazz is asking, I meant Lima by decision at 11:50 as a regular bet. Why not as dog of the night? The dog of the night I just have as totals or a money line. That's why. Finn Raider is saying, you think Vieira is a lock? Absolutely not. I think the fight doesn't go to decision as a lock in that fight. But him, there's a lot of questions for sure. Mark Solomoni is saying, you got to tell me you saw the poster for the March 6th card. Is that the pay-per-view? Because that poster looked actually pretty sick. Martial arts fan is, who would I play Gutierrez with? Always going to be Usman. Always Usman. Rib Lemons is saying Simona minus 230. Yep, I'm with you there. Let's see if his decision prop actually got any better as well now that the line is coming down, because I wouldn't mind a little bit of a poke at Simone at plus money to win via decision. Let's see. So Intertops currently has Simone via decision at minus 125. Not a line that I really like. Let me see my other two sites. If I get plus money on Simone to win via decision, I think that's a spot that I might have to officially hit. Ricky Simone. There we go. Pinnacle has Ricky Simone via decision at minus 127. Nope. And then CoolBet, again, if you guys aren't on CoolBet yet, that's a site that I have an affiliation with. Use code MMA LOTN2, and they'll match your initial deposit up to 100%, up to $200, I should say. points for Ricky Simone on Cool Bet is -118. So yeah, I'll probably still pass on that. But yeah, -230 is not a bad line for this guy at all. Big Joe is saying Simone or Vieira better on DraftKings. I'd say Simone, given the fact that I think he's more likely to win this fight than Vieira is. But yeah, Vieira, if he goes through and gets that first round finish, he's going to rack up some points. But I think Simone is a little bit more reliable at this point in time than Vieira is. Ryan Wilson is saying he put 2 units on Maverick. Do you agree? I'm picking her to win. My angle is just under 2.5. So yeah, I'm picking her to win. So yeah, I do agree with you taking the shot there. But yeah, I like that. P Money 0007 is I'm going to hit that rewind button. Have to put that parlay in. Yeah, it's worth a little bit of a shot. From Fresno is saying you can have your own opinion, but there are consequences to actions. All right. Somebody's getting a little. Oh yeah. Sorry, he's talking about the Gina Carano thing for sure. You're right. You're right. Yeah, exactly. She doubled down on that shit. And again, I think that was a knee-jerk reaction to Disney just firing her. You know what I mean? I wonder if they let it go for maybe another week or so, how she would have reacted, and maybe if she saw the outpouring of people being like, "Dude, chill the fuck out, reel it back," right? But yeah, it is what it is. The Untold is saying, "Look at the March 6th card." Okay, let me look at the March 6th card. God damn it, guys! March 6th. Oh yeah, that's 259. Yeah, that is a stacked card. Absolutely stacked card. Yeah, I'll be paying for that one. Dunbar is saying Pedro Pascal compared Trump supporters to literal Nazis. Gina compared America to early Nazi Germany. One gets a promotion, one gets fired. Who's the libtard? Again, I don't want to get too close to some political banter in here, guys. So let's not get too heated on that shit. Again, I don't want to get into the. Let's not, guys. This is MMA shit. Jay Tots is saying you got another 10-1 Marina prop. The only one that I've played officially now is the Diego Lima via decision. Again, I think Bilal wins that fight, but that line is just way too wide. It's going to be a close fight. I do think he wins that fight via decision. Pal Joy is saying, will Macy Barber win? Well, my $150 on Alexa Grasso says otherwise. Ryan Wilson is saying he's putting a thou on Piotr Jan to destroy Aljo. Haven't gotten into that one yet, so I'm looking forward to actually taping that. But my pre-tape lean is definitely Piotr Jan. Billy Bros, Brisbane, what's going on, buddy? What up, Locke? Thoughts on the parlay? Bilal over 2.5. I like that. Usman, I like that. And Vieira. Vieira is the only sketchy spot there. I would rather parlay the fight doesn't go to decision, which is just as chalky as Vieira himself. Again, he could drop the ball here. That's my big concern. I think a lot of people are just overlooking Anthony Hernandez, and I kind of get it, but Vieira is still a little bit unproven. Wins over Saperbeg Safarov and Oscar Piahota are not enough for me to want to shell out -400 on this guy. Good luck nonetheless. Yeah, Joshua's on the ball here. If Barber is successful in wrestling and doing it often, I think she wins this fight. Yeah, Nick West is like, I should just put 10 units on Usman and not bet a damn thing else. Yeah, you're right. Fender Jazz, Lock, I checked out Cool Bet, had good reviews, but one guy said he had 2 quick bets and they gave him the runaround repayout. You heard of any payout issues? No. I've had 0 payout issues. I've gotten paid out a couple times now. They do it via e-transfer as well, too. Yeah, no issues on my end. I'm not sure if they're just saying, oh, this guy's account is, we got to look after this guy because he's an affiliate of ours. But yeah, I haven't heard of anybody else or giving anybody issues. John Rushmore, did you see Frankie talk about his KO on Future Honest podcast? I didn't. If you want to give me the quick cliff notes, I'll be happy to read it. Appreciate you stopping by, Justin. Really do appreciate it. Brian Anthony is saying, what do you think about Gutierrez at -132? That's a fight that I'm staying away from. I think the over 2.5 is probably the spot that I know it's a little bit chalky, but I think that's the way to go. My concern is the volume versus damage here. And the volume you might be a little bit too much. I'm banking on Gutierrez to be effective enough with his calf kicks to kind of like slow down Ewell and possibly start chipping away at this fight. But Very close fight. I would rather take that fight if it was like closer line to a pick'em here. Okay. M. Dobson, have you heard Usman doesn't do road work as his knees as cartilage are bad? If so, he's been taking time bound over 5 rounds. If true, Bruns would also know this. Yeah, no, Usman made no, he's made no intention of making it a secret. He talked about it on Joe Rogan's podcast, right? So everybody knows about this, but he's compensating it for in other situations. It's been this issue for a while, right? So I think it still holds up for him for a couple fights. But yeah, I think he's got this. Again, I'm not going to talk about any political shit any further. Just saying. HV, appreciate the $2 donation. I totally forgot I got the super chat going on, so appreciate anybody that's dropping some coin through there. But yeah, Trump 2024. That's what I got right there. From Fresno saying second best dog of the night. So my dog of the night plays are the under 2.5s in the Maverick fight and in the Martin fight. But in terms of a straight up dog, I like Maki Pitolo as a dog. I like considering how the line is going, Alexa Grasso is probably going to end up being the dog. So I think she's a solid dog as well. But yeah, very slim pickings for this card, to be honest. Dunbar, aka Micah Bell, likes Jillian tonight. I don't blame you. But again, give me that under 2.5 and I'm happy. Shout out to George, who's actually went rewind the time and put together the parlay that I just talked about. Yeah, this is my totals parlay. I got $50 to win 6.2K. Again, it's a long shot. It's a Hail Mary. But I think those are the fights that, those overs and unders are probably the way to go. Appreciate you doing that for me, George. I really, really do appreciate it. SD Crusader is saying, I've been using Bovada for years and never had a single issue. Only thing is they just take a bit more chalk than other sites seem to. Yeah, Bovada is pretty good in terms of never giving anybody issues. I'm pretty sure Bodog, which is I believe an affiliate of Bovada, I heard they were sorry, they were one of the first ever sites that I started betting on too. But yeah. Coolbet. Coolbet, Pinnacle, Intertops, which I just started using now, not the greatest, and then Bookmaker. Those are my 4 bookies that I use, and I'm up here in Toronto. So again, a lot of these sites might be geo-blocked for you guys, but those are my 4 go-to sites. Joshua Chipman is saying Coolbet is a joke. What do you mean? They've been great to me, and anybody that's obviously signed up with them. And again, Coolbet is pretty quick in their payouts as well too. And you can parlay props, which is something that a lot of people like as well. Dunbar. Yeah. Frankie's always a solid dude, man. You can't really bang on him too much. Tough loss, but he always keeps coming back. Fender cashed on the Frankie Coriander. That's a solid hit there. I hated that fight. Frankie wants to keep fighting, but he's starting to sound a bit off when he speaks. Yeah. The guy better get his cash real quick. Maybe not fight guys that can put his lights out that way. Maybe he'll be better off. Shout out to From Fresno. Appreciate the $1 donation there. I know we came in with some heat on that political shit, but I'm glad that we're able to bring this back around to the MMA talk, which is all this should be about. So I appreciate that donation, buddy. Hope to see a little bit more of you in the stream whenever we drop this. Billy Briz is saying Maverick in an interview with Pub looking for a late finish second round, most likely might have to single round 2 and round 3 props. Yeah, as long as she gets that under 2.5, I'm there. Again, I don't care if it's Jillian or Maverick. As long as she gets that finish, I'm happy. Ned's MMA podcast is saying Coconut Bombs is an underrated nickname. I absolutely agree with you there. Jimmy is saying any last minute advice on Gabe versus you mean Gabe Green versus Phil Rowe? I have none, man. I'm staying the fuck away from that fight. I think the under 2.5 is the way to go. Both guys are going to be live for a finish, in my opinion. I just don't know which way it goes. Very, very skeptical about that fight. I have so many questions about both guys still. I do lean Gabe. I think possible submission as well, but the under 2.5 is the only thing I would go with. Chris Heisenbutel is saying, "Who's the prop lock tonight?" My guy here after that Fire Marina Rodriguez play. I'm hoping that I can have some more solid parlay pieces for you, or prop plays for you guys, especially in the plus 1200 ish range, like that Rodriguez plays. But those are, I will throw them out there. If they hit, they hit. If not, I'll do my best. Again, I'm on Lima via decision plus 1150. I know most other bookies will probably have around plus 700, plus 800. I think it's a solid spot. I think Bilal wins, but again, the fight's going to be super close, and I think that Lima has a good shot of winning that fight for sure. Other big prop spots is the Anthony Hernandez round 3 finish. I think that's a solid prop spot at very juicy prop odds. Or plus odds, I should say, as well as Usman round 4 and round 5. If my suspicions about Gilbert's gas tank is true, I think he's going to struggle late in the fight. And although my safest play in that fight is Usman via decision, which is around that plus 100 mark, I think it's worth a shot to take a little bit of a sprinkle on that plus 2100 for him to win in round 5, and plus I think 1700 for him to win in round 4. Hope that helps. Bender, Bodog send a check right to my door, no charge, no problem. Yeah. I think I did catch out with them with a check as well. But I love this new e-transfer shit that, especially up in here in Canada, a lot of these websites are now allowing deposits and withdrawals with e-transfers, which, take minutes, which is amazing. I think the withdrawal actually, the e-transfer withdrawal probably takes about 1 to 2 days. But yeah, I'm loving it. Crispy, why do you think the line is rotating to Barber? I think people are reading, they're seeing a lot of the predictions that are coming out now, and a lot of people banging on the fact that Barber will be successful in clinching this fight and getting a grappling game going in this fight. I think that's what a lot of people are leaning on here, but I still think that Grasso will be able to keep her at bay and get her strikes off. So that's the side that I'm going with what's her face? Fucking Grasso. No, thank you, Jimmy. I appreciate you stopping by the stream. We got another 15 or so minutes in here. I appreciate everybody hopping by. We're sticking in the chat. I really, really appreciate you guys stopping by on this fight day. Also, just a reminder, now that we got about 80 people in here, I will also have a stream at 6 p.m. on Sal Vetri's channel. I'm going to have the GOAT himself, MMA DFS GOAT himself, Mr. Brett Apley, coming on and helping me out, giving you guys our last-minute thoughts, our pre-lock thoughts on that card. So make sure you guys join us at 6 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be on Sal Vetri's channel. Make sure you guys go subscribe to his channel, turn on the notifications as well too, and I'll be over there giving you guys last minute thoughts, literally last minute thoughts there for that. That's a show that's kind of a work in progress at this point. We want to see how it does, if it gains enough traction, if it's something that we see that is very good to do in the future, then I'll probably drop this show personally and then go over and just do that, because doing 2 streams in one day, a little bit too much for me, but I like the what we got going over there at Vetri's channel. So hope if you guys are here right now, you guys will join us at 6 p.m. on his channel. If you guys follow us or follow me on Twitter, I'll tweet out the link and you guys can hop on there as well too. I have it is saying I went Usman Burns under 4.5 plus 112 thoughts. I think the over is the better spot, but if you're getting plus money, I don't mind it too much. But I do like, I think Usman in a decision is the way to go there. But yeah, not a bad stab, dude. Not a bad stab. Crispy, she won a few of her fights to me that the ref called early. She, to me, seems like she's a bragger and someone who going to get run on by Grasso. Yeah, there's a lot of fights where Barbara's losing early in the fight, right? Like she dropped the first round to Aldrich, and a couple of other fights where she's dropping the first round, but her power bails her out. However, that Mexican chin of Alexa Grasso, I think, is going to be able to withstand any of the power coming away from Barber, and I think she'll be able to walk through it, land her own strikes, and really keep Barber at bay here. Chris, you didn't do too bad on my last name. Chris Heisenbuttel. That's got to be German, right? That's got to be German? My wife actually comes from German heritage, so I got to attribute a little bit to that. Radical Rosh, Gilbert is 34 years old. Would you consider him out of his prime? No. I think guys have, like, it varies depending on prime for certain guys. Gilbert he's looking the best he's ever looked. You know what I mean? His striking is truly refined now. Came into the UFC strictly as a jiu-jitsu guy, and Henry Hooft has really rounded out his game and made him a complete MMA fighter now. So I do think that this is the best Gil Burns will ever see, but I still don't think it's going to be the best or be enough to beat a guy like Kamaru Usman, who in my opinion is the best 170 walking the planet right now. Savan Shagnatsky is saying, I think Maverick has better power in her hands than Barber, possibly. And you've seen what she did to Robertson. Yeah. It's all if Maverick can keep this fight on the feet. If she can keep it there, it's going to be a rough night for Robertson, which is why I like that under 2.5. Shout out to SD Cruiser dropping the $2 donation. Really appreciate that, buddy. This super chat thing is fucking killer. Maybe I should get those sticker things going too as a little bit of an incentive. But yeah, I appreciate you dropping by the stream and always showing your boy some love on the videos. Shadi Mack is saying his degenerate parlay is Vieira, Usman, Gabe Green, Maki Pitolo, Ricky Simone, and ready to cash big. Ooh, good luck on that one, buddy. You got some iffy spots in there, but I'll definitely be thinking about you when during this card. George, would you consider live commentary of the fights at some point? I did a couple fight nights. I think I did 2 like fight companion type videos. I don't know if there is a demand for it. I'll do it. Is there a demand for it? Let me know. John West is saying if Modafferi all box Barber on the feet, is the weight jump really enough to not pound Grasso? Modafferi didn't technically outbox her on the feet. She just, bit down on her mouthpiece and moved forward and didn't really care whether Barber decided to take the fight to the ground because that's where Roxanne was most comfortable, right? You're talking about 2 different approaches and game plans here with Grasso, who probably wants to keep this on the feet, and then Roxy, who's just like, fuck it, I'm going to throw bombs, and I don't care if you take me down because I'm probably better off there anyway. Yeah, also this whole weight jump thing, I think people are misconstruing it a little bit too much. Like Barber used to make 115 pounds. Then it became a little bit harder for her to make it. Now she's at 125. Same thing with Grasso. I mean, she's only had one fight at 125 pounds, but she was struggling to make 115, which is why she's at 125 now. So I don't know why people are thinking that this is going to be like a, Jack Hermanson versus Kelvin Gastelum type of thing. It's not going to be that bad, in my opinion. P Money 0007 is saying he put my parlay in my book, had different over-under for rounds. For instance, Bilal is set at 2.5 rounds. Yeah, that's what I believe I put it at. Bilal over 2.5 rounds. Let's see what else we got here. Radical Rosh, I respect you for coming out and saying that, dude. We don't get enough of that in this community. Guys just want to brush their losses under the rug and not act like they've made bad bets in the past. We've all made bad bets. Mike Rodriguez, the worst bet I've ever probably made in my life. And you bet on Michael Johnson to beat Clay Guida. It is what it is, dude. It is what it is. Chris B is saying Grasso looks fast. Yeah, she looks good, man. Her striking is definitely on the ball. Is Barber the unicorn taking the L tonight? I think so. I like to call them the belle of the ball. She's the belle of the ball tonight, and they're gone 0-3 in 2021, and I think it continues. DXJC56 is saying Usman, Rodolfo, over 2.5 in Bilal, and over 2.5 in Ion Gutierrez. The only one that I have a little bit of a concern about is the Rodolfo one. Again, I can't trust him at that. If you're able to parlay the fight doesn't go to decision in the Rodolfo fight, that's the spot that I'd go with more for sure. Billy Briz is saying always like some early prelim action. Any favorite on the prelims you like? Any the first fight of the night. I got the under 2.5 in the Maverick fight. I like the under 2.5 in the Vienna fight. It's crazy that she's gone from plus 130, plus 150 all the way down to almost a pick 'em now against Mallory Martin. But I took the plus 180 on the under 2.5 there. Chris Grieve is saying, I rewatched the Esparza and Grasso fight now, and I'm second guessing my Grasso bet. One thing people need to realize is Esparza is like the second best grappler in that division. It's Tatiana Suarez, then Carla Esparza. She has a great wrestling background. I don't think that Barber has Esparza level grappling or wrestling, I should say. That's the one thing that people need to look at. Billy's saying that I need to come over on PSR or one of these cards. Maybe. I'll think about it. I appreciate the invite, brother. Yeah, George is saying a watch party for UFC 259 would be pretty cool. Maybe. I'll see if I can line something up. I'm getting a solid amount of following that maybe I can bring in some solid numbers in terms of the viewers. So maybe I'll bring in some buddies of mine and we'll do a bit of a watch party. Dustin Holta is saying Clint only bets plus money. Yeah. No truer words than that. Chris Grieve is saying biggest worry is Barbara getting an early takedown. If that happens, I will kiss my money goodbye on Grasso. Even if she gets an early takedown, like is she really live and getting a submission? I don't know. Like the longer this fight goes, will Grasso be able to, keep it on the feet more? I mean, let me just pull something up real quick. Bear with me one sec, guys. So we got a 63% takedown defense on Alexa Grasso. But again, when you're going up against girls like Carla Esparza, who's going 4 of 11 on takedowns, again, second best wrestler in that division, and then 2 of 3 against Tatiana Suarez, number 1 in the division, and then the Felice Herrig one, she went 2 of 4. But so that fight was 4 years ago now, and I feel like we've seen some solid improvements from Grasso since then. Felice Herrig was a very strong woman at that division as well too. But in all these fights, we see Alexa Grasso outstriking these women. I mean, she outstrikes Carla Esparza. She outstrikes Tatiana Suarez, even though that fight only went 2.5 minutes. She outstrikes Felice Herrig. She outstrikes Randa Marcos. That's the thing. So I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that if Barbara completes her first takedown, that she wins this fight. Crispy is saying, I know you think the fight is going to the decision on Barbara and Grasso, but I put 75 on Grasso for round 1, 2, and 3 for over 1,000 payout. Oof. Good luck, man. I'm not sure if Grasso really has the pop on her shots to really put it too much on Barbara here, but I do think she will beat her. I do think she will. Simone or Vieira for DFS, I'd have to go with Simone. Again, Vieira is just he's not reliable enough for me in this spot to take the shot on him. Again, his win condition is first round sub, and if he hits that, it's going to be a high score. But I think Simone is definitely a little bit more trustworthy in the spot. Chris Grieve, Transparent, you got to love it. A lot better than seeing ridiculous parlays that only mention when a fight card is done and never before the fights. Yeah. That's why I'm putting my bet slips on, man. If guys aren't dropping their bet slips, I have a huge question mark as to whether they're actually playing those bets and not just playing with units. I don't care if you have $1 or $2 $5 units. You know what I mean? Just show that you have enough confidence to go out there and put the money on it yourself. Not really underwriting the sporadic love for Burns. I'm feeling very confident in Usman. I agree. Someone said it earlier in the stream. It's like the whole GSP thing, right? People want to make as much of a case as they can for their opponents, but at the end of the day, the champ reigns supreme. John West has a parlay for tonight. Vieira via sub. Bilal, Usman 4-5 or decision. Grasso fight goes to decision, and Simone. That's a solid one. I don't mind that spot at all. The Real Bunk Hoots, if I'm not mistaken, I believe you're one of my fellow patrons. I really appreciate the love and support, even during this tough and dark time of going on a 4 lock of the night losing streak. Very, very tough. I appreciate you sticking with your boy and helping me out. John West, thanks for the info. Great content. I'll be back to donate. I appreciate that, man. Donations are not required, or nor are they badgered on for you guys, but I always do appreciate it when you guys do drop it. Trust me, it means a lot. Hunter Silver is dropping some heat on the stream tonight. Yeah. The funny thing about that parlay king guy is, so he started tracking on Bet MMA tips, wins his first event, starts gloating all about it, then goes on to lose his next 3 events and is now at like minus 27 units. And now he's starting a new Bet MMA tips profile, fully expecting it to blow up in his face again. Come on. I know, but Barbara is much bigger on the feet. I feel like she'll be. Is she much bigger? Alexa Grasso has a 1-inch height advantage on her. And even at the weigh-ins, Alexa Grasso looked like the bigger one. If anything, Grasso looked like she was the more defined fighter as well, too. I don't get this whole Barbara is much bigger, but I don't see it. Savone is saying, you're showing Sal's channel rocks. The list of previous fight stats while you give an in-depth breakdowns of those fights and how they pertain to the upcoming fight are on point. I appreciate it, buddy. I'm hoping to bring some solid knowledge to his crew there. And so far, I've been getting nothing but love. So I appreciate it wholeheartedly. Thank you, Sav. I'm not worried about her submitting her. I'm worried about her laying on top of her after a few takedowns and winning a decision. Maybe. But we saw great get-ups and great offensive guard from Grasso in her fight with Esparza. Again, that was a very, very close fight. Let me just pull up the and again, that's a fight I believe I had money on Esparza there, but I will admit that was a very close fight. The final verdict there was a majority decision for Esparza. One judge actually gave Grasso a 10-8 in that round 3. We had a couple draw scorecards on there. Yeah, close fight. But I'm liking what I'm getting with Grasso here. Nick West with a $5 donation. I appreciate the love there, buddy. Always appreciate it. Billy Bros is saying, problem with putting out bet slips is people fall in love with the money more than process. You want to see bet slips, sign up for Patreon. Just put out bet slips. That's all I'm saying. I don't get why that's so hard to put out for people. Jack Jackal, shout out to my guy Jack Jackal, always providing some good discourse. Barbara is bigger and stronger. Her clinch game is vicious and her ground and pound is brutal. Think she might be big sister here, but to be honest, like you say, has strong boxing and pretty well rounded. Yeah, I do think that Grasso is the bigger one, and the weigh-in shows it itself. The metrics show it itself too. Will she come in as the heavier girl? Maybe, but again, Alexa Grasso had trouble herself making 115, so you got to wonder what she's coming into the cage looking like as well. But I do agree with you that she probably does have the better clinch game. I'm not 100% sold that she'll, ground and pound finish Alexa Grasso here, but again, very close fight. I'm very much looking forward to it. All right, wow, we're already at the 1 hour mark. I'll get to these last couple questions, and then I'm going to get the fuck out of here. DPS is saying I'm actually really confident in Bilal. Could be wrong, but yeah, minus 500 though. Like if you're going to take Bilal, you'd rather take the decision prop. I don't think he finishes Diego Lima, but even at minus 150 for a decision prop, I think it's a little bit too chalky. But good luck to you nonetheless, buddy. Acai Fueled Mountaineer, FanDuel Super Boost, Gastelum plus Usman at plus 150. That's a solid spot, buddy. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate you letting people know about that. That's a good spot. Fender Jazz, thanks for everything, Locke. Forget the second MROD. We all hit and miss, but your content is always exceptional. I appreciate the love, man. It really means a lot. NABN, what do you think about Usman and Gastelum parlay for plus 115? Yeah, I think that's a solid spot. Just as my guy Acai Fueled Mountaineer just said here, I think that's a solid spot. Chris Greaves, I just better at minus 115. I got a better line than the opening one, which is a bonus. Yeah, I got minus 120 on Grasso, which is a bummer considering now the line movement, but I'm just not the greatest at predicting line movement. Jack Jacko, he thinks Grasso won the Esparza fight. Again, Esparza, in my opinion, second best grappler in the division. Jorge Sandoval is saying, am I crazy for liking Fluffy as a dog? No, you are not crazy at all. I took a little bit of a sprinkle on Fluffy at in round 2 and round 3. I think he's very live to get a finish there, especially if Vieira's gas tank is as bad as I think it is. Usman Gastelum parlay minus 107, not bad. Fluffy as dog is a great bet, but only as a live. I don't mind it pre-fight either. There are question marks regarding Vieira, but yeah. For me, there's always question marks about guys that are just going out there and subbing guys right off the bat in round 1. Because then, when we saw Vieira in round 2 against who is it? Oscar Piahota didn't look the greatest, but luckily for him, Oscar Piahota has a horrible gas tank himself. I think Fluffy has a good gas tank himself. We've seen him go 5 rounds in LFA. He can keep up a pace for 3 rounds. So if he doesn't get out of there in the first round, things are going to get very hairy for Rodolfo. Yes, SD Crusader is absolutely on the point. On the just bang on right here. If you make start of the first round, then the most danger is gone. I agree. Grab that boost. Shout out to anybody on FanDuel that's able to get those boost bets. All right. We're approaching an hour and 4 minutes now. Appreciate everybody that dropped a donation in the super chat. Trust me, I very much appreciate that. Shout out to everybody that stopped by. We almost hit 100 people here. Make sure you guys hit that like if you haven't already. Helps me out a ton. I'll consider doing a fight companion in the very near future. I know we have a lot of people out there that are wanting that. I'll do my best and put together a solid crew of guys that you guys will enjoy listening to as well. But not tonight. It's not going to happen tonight. What is happening tonight, though, is I do have a pre-lock show going down in about 4 hours 6 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to be on Sal Vetri's channel doing a pre-lock show. Brett Apley, the infamous Brett Apley, is going to be joining me to help break down that card. Last minute thoughts, anything that people need on a last minute basis. Very much looking forward to that. It's going to be our first attempt at making this pre-lock show a thing. So I hope you guys can come out, show some support, hit that like on his page as well too, and it will, warrant me continuing to do that stream, and I'm very much looking forward to it. Shawty Mac with the last question. Putting out bet slips has to be the easiest thing anyone can do. Good reason why people don't trust many in the business and why we appreciate the ones who do it right so much. Right there. Right there. What are you hiding? What are you hiding by not putting out bet slips? That's all I'm saying. All right. Good luck on your fights tonight. I hope to see you guys at 6 p.m. on Sal Vetri's channel. I'll put the link in on Twitter. So if you guys follow me on Twitter at MMALOTN, you guys will find the link there, and I'll see you guys at 6 p.m. Good luck on your bets tonight. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the donations. Hopefully, Usman can go out there and shake off this lock of the night curse for me. Break this 4 lock of the night bet skid that I'm on. Please, Usman. Please. Good luck tonight, guys. Appreciate the support.